Australia, a big lineup to the right. Williams
should score.
Looking good. Here's Murray. And the try won't be allowed. Touch judges his flag up. Nick Riley in somewhat a little bit of pain there as he was given the shoulder charge. And you'd have to question whether the arms were used in that tackle.
That wasn't the most legitimate tackle I've ever seen. And he's feeling the effects of it as well, as he got a shoulder charge from the Fijian. He missed out on the try. He's injured. Looks like he's going to have to leave the field.
And a real battle zone for the Australian camp. Already having lost Latham and Ghetto through injuries leading up to this match.
I don't understand that sort of refereeing. They're pinging players for not binding correctly in the scrums, and yet a shoulder charge like that goes apparently unnoticed and unpunished.
And the touch judge right there as well. Nick Riley, he's staying on the field. Satala takes it down for Fiji. And again, another Australian down. And I think it is...
Well, I guess you could argue that was a slightly more legitimate shoulder charge because he had the ball. But
he's in some real trouble, though.
But he's not well. He is not well at all.
Just think that may be Luke Inman down at the moment. And some real concern being shown here. As we could see from that shot, that the referee stopped play immediately, and here comes the medics now.
So there will be quite a stoppage here with still 3 minutes and 19 seconds of the match to go. From the line out, the short throw, and we'll see it here again. You'll see how the ball is worked back towards the touchline. And
oh no, it's Scott Fava.
Scott Fava as the big charge coming from number 5, Viliame or Bill Satala. And he really is in a very bad way. You can see the lower part of his body, his legs quivering as he's gone into some kind of fit there. Unfortunately, Fava as a result of that charge that he suffered on him from Viliame. And so the medics will take their time here.
And some worried faces on the Australian bench there, not just for the scoreline, but for the state of Scott Fava, the vice-captain of the Western Force on the Super 14 this year. He's a member of the Australian Test Rugby squad, and he was voted the best Brumbies forward back in 2004. He's been around the Super 12 circuit, having appeared for the Reds, the Brumbies, and now the Force.
Matt Giddo and Glenn Ella looking anxiously in the direction of where the incident has taken place. You really couldn't tell, I guess, from the replay exactly how serious the charge was. It looked to me, because he had the ball in his hand, that he was trying to bullock his way through the tackle. And neither the touch judge nor the referee, from what we can gather, saw fit to penalise the Fijian for what some might argue was a shoulder charge into Fava. But he did have the ball. I guess the player is entitled to try and fend off the opponent, but shoulder charging in any circumstances is not permitted. But it really was one of those, I guess, 50-50 ones, wasn't it?
I don't think there was any intent there at all, but certainly some concern being shown in the Australian camp. It's been a long, hard tournament for the Australians, and being based at here in Melbourne, I think many people would have loved to have seen this as the final. The Fijians, the exciting flair and the talent that the Fijians possess was something that many people had expected them to be in the final, which is coming up soon, between the New Zealand team and the England team. That will be a beaut. And you can see there that the crowd are showing some real concern for Scott Fava. So this could take some time.
And this very serious and now lengthy stoppage will, I think, almost certainly delay the start of the final, which was due to get underway in around about 4 minutes. We still have the best part of from memory, about 5 minutes left in this match. In fact, just under 5 minutes, around about 4 minutes left. So the final will be delayed, and still no sign of the medics yet in a position to be able to remove Scott Fava. Now the stretcher with Fava on board. They move very carefully in these situations, and well, I guess understandably and tactfully, the television cameras staying out of this very private and a very difficult moment.
We haven't seen any major injuries so far at this tournament, and it's sad that it's come right towards the end as this competition was building towards the climax for the gold and the silver medal match to follow this.
And the sad side of Scott Fava being loaded onto the golf trolley. And that is the end of his Commonwealth Games. We just hope and pray that his health is fine and that he hasn't suffered any serious damage. It certainly looked bad when his body went into some form of convulsion, some sort of fit there for a moment. And it will be very awkward, I'm sure, for the Australian players to get themselves up here now for the last 3 minutes, seeing what's happened to their teammate.
I think both teams will now struggle to get back into this match. The Fijians won't like to see that happen to any player. And a very lengthy stoppage. Been a real war zone for Glenn Ella and his team on day 2 of the Rugby Sevens at the Commonwealth Games. And applause now for Scott Fava as he's transported off the ground.
Well, a very large contingent of paramedics and others there assisting very carefully Scott Fava from the ground. And still, as we said, 3 minutes, I think, and about 20 seconds left on the clock. And this very lengthy stoppage, which has run to something like 6 or 7 minutes. And they won't obviously start this match until Fava is well and truly off the ground.
And you can see from just the sheer number of medical officials down there that there are some worrying signs that come directly across the ground as opposed to the opportunity of going around the ground.